On the day of the Gaokao, I saved a girl, but was accused of sexual harassment. After I walked out of the exam room, the whole internet blew up. She posted a video sobbing and complaining, saying I took advantage of her while saving her. She also said no girl would ever use her own innocence to frame an innocent person for no reason. That single sentence nailed me to the pillar of shame. I held back all my grievance and scored 658 in the exam. I was fully expecting interviews from mainstream media to clear my name. But what I got instead was news that my parents were killed by a deranged, low-performing student in a car crash. I'm reborn. I came back to the day I was heading to the Gaokao. In my past life, the exam venue was pretty far, so I left 2.5 hours early to take the special Gaokao bus to the exam site. While waiting for the bus, a girl next to me had a sudden heart attack. My mom is a nurse. I had learned CPR before, so I gave her first aid right away. I waited until the ambulance arrived before rushing to the exam site. But after I walked out of the exam room, I saw the entire internet condemning me. That girl's name is Zheng Yue. She was also a Gaokao taker. In the video, she was sitting on a hospital bed, sobbing uncontrollably, saying I took advantage of her when she passed out, since that was an old bus stop. There were no security cameras there, and it was really early in the morning. There was no one else at the stop. No one could prove my innocence. Zheng Yue kept repeating over and over that no girl would ever use her own innocence to frame an innocent person for no reason. That totally nailed me to the pillar of shame. Cyberbullying hit me like a tsunami. My mom worked as a nurse. My dad ran a revolving hot pot restaurant. Right after Zheng Yue's video came out, our family's restaurant was smashed up, and we had to shut it down. My mom was humiliated at the hospital and had gunk splashed all over her. I knew deep down only a good exam score could get authoritative media to speak up for me, so I held back my fear and anger to finish the rest of the exams. When the scores came out, I scored 658 points, high enough to get into Tsinghua and Peking University. That same day, Zheng Yue jumped off the hospital rooftop and died. Her parents demanded 2 million RMB in compensation from my family. They hung banners in our neighborhood demanding I pay with my life. My parents were totally worn out from all the harassment. They couldn't even sleep well. When they were out delivering goods, they were chased by click-hungry influencers and crashed into a big truck driven by the deranged student's parents, and both died on the spot. I was also surrounded and harassed by a crowd. I finally managed to escape. When I got to my doorstep, I accidentally stepped on oil on the stairs and fell down to my death. Even my glasses flew off from the fall. Through blurry vision, I saw our next-door neighbor's daughter, Molly, holding an oil jug in her hand. She stared at me with hatred and glee in her eyes. Now I'm reborn again, only 50 meters away from the bus stop. Just turn the corner at the end of this path and you'll reach it. Through the sparse tree shadows by the wall, I could vaguely see Zheng Yue's figure, but I didn't even glance in her direction. Instead, I stood on tiptoe to pick a rose that was sticking out from the other side of the wall and pinned it to my collar buttonhole. Then I took my earphones out of my backpack and read English words out loud along with my English app. These little moves are going to save my life later. There was a small pebble on the roadside. I kicked it along as I walked. I kicked it too hard by accident. It hit the telephone pole and bounced right behind me, then rolled right down into the roadside drain. I was only 10 steps away from the intersection. Zheng Yue was swaying like she was drunk. But I turned around and jumped down the drain to chase the pebble. Then my glasses got scratched by the low wild bushes next to me, so I took off my glasses, put them in the glasses case, and tucked the case into my bag. There was no water in the drain, only dead leaves and pebbles. I just put down my bag, rolled up my sleeves, and picked them all out one by one. I arranged them from largest to smallest, and placed them neatly on the curb. They were so round and so pretty. When the sun hit them, they glistened like little gems. I took photos and posted them on my WeChat moments. At this exact time in my past life, I had already arrived at the bus stop and found Zheng Yue having a heart attack. That's definitely what's happening right now. I just kept taking photos and posting them nonstop. I couldn't take all these pebbles home with me. I finally picked out a heart-shaped one and wiped it over and over carefully with a tissue. I held it up high towards the sun and yelled out loud, "Heart, H-E-A-R-T, heart." As I was chanting, I even started singing, until I cried. I'm 400 degrees nearsighted. I can't even tell men from women dozens of meters away. Trees just look like a whole patch of green to me. I only realized the tree around the corner was a gardenia tree when I smelled the floral scent. Through the iron fence, I could see on the tree clusters of pure white gardenias blooming. The sweet fragrance hit my nose. Behind the fence was a small garden. An old man was watering the flowers there. Cats and dogs were running around inside too. A round camera under the eave was pointing right at me. I took off my headphones and yelled loudly, "Sir, your gardenias smell so good." The old man happily picked a flower and gave it to me. He asked through the iron fence, "Are you a college entrance exam taker?" "Yeah, I'm heading to the exam site right now. Wish you success in your first exam. And get admitted to your dream school. Thank you for your good wishes." The old man saw I had a rose pinned on my collar, so he cut a few bigger and prettier ones for me. He also picked several bowl-sized gardenias for me. Because of this delay, another 10 minutes passed. Finally, a few retired aunties carrying grocery baskets and reusable shopping bags walked this way. It looked like they were heading to the bus stop too. I held over a dozen big gardenias and followed behind them. One of them wore a floral shirt and had an afro perm. She smelled the flower scent, turned around and asked, "Young man, where did you get these flowers?" I squinted my eyes, then realized I wasn't wearing my glasses. I fished them out of my bag, put them on, and said, "That old man up front gave them to me. Auntie, you like them? I can give you some." I gave her 5 flowers, and gave 2 to each of the other aunties. We kept walking towards the bus stop. I didn't see Zhengyue. I only saw the green belt next to the stop was vaguely trampled down, but it was blocked by the bus stop sign, so no one noticed anything wrong for a while. I smelled the flowers, strolling slowly at the very back. When I was almost at the stop, the bus I needed finally arrived. I ran after the bus yelling, "Driver!" The driver opened the door like he was drifting. There was no one on the bus. I hopped on quickly with big steps, found the left window seat at the very back, and sat down. I put my headphones back on. The door was still open, but no one else got on. The aunties on the platform were chattering away, all talking about the college entrance exam. The door closed, and the bus kept driving. It wasn't until the bus left the stop that a white-haired grandma found Zhengyue's phone lying on the ground, then spotted Zhengyue herself and started screaming. One auntie was so scared she fell to the ground. The other aunties rushed over to help her up. Shouwatsu had fallen into the green belt, covered in dirt all over, her face blue and purple, but I never looked back the whole time. Actually, after I was reborn, I could have gone home and asked my dad to drive me, or taken a different route, or taken a taxi, or even stopped any random car on the road. People in Zhongcheng are super warm-hearted, as long as I told them I was an exam taker. Everyone would have volunteered to drive me to the exam site. But why would I change my plans? Why would I run away? Now that I'm reborn, I want to be just out of her reach, watching her fall into hell little by little. I want her to be in despair, staring at the direction I came from at the intersection, watching and waiting for nothing. It's best if she dies right there. If she doesn't die, she'll spend the rest of her life wondering, if she had slowed down a little back then, would I have fallen for her trap? Repentance is for bad people, not good people. That's what you call crushing someone's spirit completely. I arrived at the exam site smoothly with 20 minutes to spare. This is my second time taking the college entrance exam. Compared to last time when I was almost late, all nervous and panicking, this time I'm totally calm and well organized. I finished the exam smoothly and walked out. Went home and had lunch. I checked my phone before taking a nap. There was no news report about Zhengyue. When I woke up, both my parents were home. My mom handed me a wet towel to wipe my face and said, "This morning, an exam taker had a sudden heart attack at the bus stop. They sent her to our hospital and she's in the ICU now. We don't know if she can be saved." My dad said, "I heard about that too. Such a shame. She's so young." Our son is still taking his exams. Don't mention all that stuff. We don't want to scare her. My parents are really kind people. They even feel bad she can't take the exam. They have no idea she killed our whole family in the past life. Didn't she say my first aid was unprofessional? And that I was taking advantage of her? I bet she likes this outcome way more. I'm going back to take the exam this afternoon, but I don't want to take the bus anymore. I'll ask Dad to give me a ride on his e-bike. I lost them once already. Now I cherish every second I spend with them. Dad took off the cargo basket at the back of the bike. He wiped the seat over and over with a rag. He grumbled playfully, "You're even taller than your dad now. There's barely enough room for your legs. I'm 18 and 192 cm tall. Dad is only 170 cm. I was already taller than him back in middle school. You're just noticing that now." I squeezed onto the bike. I put on my helmet properly. I rested my hands on his shoulders. "Dad, when the college entrance exam ends, let's go back to our hometown to visit Grandma and Grandpa, okay?" Dad twisted the throttle gently. "That's no good. You're going to college soon. I still need to save up to buy you a house. I pressed my forehead against his broad shoulder. My eyes got a little wet. You can make money any time. But there's only one summer after the college entrance exam. Besides, our whole family hasn't gone back to our hometown together for 3 years. I miss them. For the college entrance exam, I even stayed in Zhangcheng to take tutoring classes during Spring Festival. Either mom or dad had to stay home to take care of me. So they went back separately. Dad started hesitating. A wise man doesn't stand under a falling wall. A smart person doesn't fight with a lunatic. The best strategy is to get out of here. To convince him, I used my secret trick and shook his arm. Dad? An 18-year-old grown boy. I haven't acted all cute and coquettish in years. Dad almost couldn't stand it. Sit properly, will ya? I sat still obediently. Dad was grinning from ear to ear. All right, I just restocked today. I'll sell for one more day and stop restocking. We'll head back the day after tomorrow. We can check your exam scores at home. Make Grandma and Grandpa happy too. I walked into the exam hall. I turned around and saw Dad pushing his e-bike. He was looking at me full of love. My eyes stung again. I clenched my fist at him to make a cheering gesture. Gosheng. I finished the exam really smoothly. I've always had excellent grades. Teachers thought I was a shoo-in for Tsinghua and Peking University. If it weren't for the Zhongyue incident, I would have had a bright future. I walked out of the exam hall. Dad came to pick me up again. Hang, are you hot? Tired? Hungry? Dad opened the thermos to pour me some water. He asked me all kinds of small questions. I drank the water. I stretched my arms. Oh, Dad. I just want to sleep right now. In my past life after the Zhongyue incident, I didn't get a single good night's sleep. I just took exams for a whole day again. My eyelids are so heavy I can barely keep them open. Dad said immediately, Right, you need to rest up and save energy. You have another whole day of exams tomorrow. He took me home. Mom was still working the night shift. Dad went to cook dinner. I took a shower. I dried my hair and went back to my room. I turned on my phone. There's still no big news online. It looks like without my help. Zhengyue's condition is really serious. She can't cause any trouble right now. But I know exactly how difficult her family is. The real trouble is still ahead. Actually, we were middle school classmates. But shortly after 7th grade started, I got into the accelerated class. I have no memory of her at all. She mentioned it herself in the video. She said I had a crush on her back then. She's like a rat from the sewer. Her hair was always greasy and wet. It looked like she hadn't washed it for 2 months. She always had a weird smell on her. And I'm pretty good looking. If you put our photos side by side, the claim that I molested her is not convincing at all. If she hadn't died, I definitely could have cleared my name. Too bad there are no what-ifs. When I was getting cyberbullied in my past life, I received an anonymous photo from someone. It showed a shabby room that looked like a storage room. The walls were covered with my photos. The post also had all kinds of small trinkets I used to lose, like towels and water bottles I lost when playing basketball, used pens, even my old underwear and worn-out sneakers. The caption on that picture said, Zhongyue's home. So Zhongwatz has been spying on my life this whole time. She even went as far as stealing and digging through trash cans. She's a total creepy perv. The kind that's tired of living anyway. Her showing up at that bus stop during the college entrance exam wasn't a coincidence at all. It was carefully planned out. Zhengyue's parents favor sons over daughters. They planned to marry her off right after high school graduation. In my past life, she called me right before she died, saying if I agreed to marry her and paid her parents 1,000,000 yuan as bride price, she would clear everything up for netizens. I felt like a random rat was forcing me to kiss it. I was so disgusted I almost threw up. Then she jumped off a building and killed herself. I recorded that phone call of hers, but it was useless. One phrase the deceased are to be respected ruined my reputation completely. But I don't understand. How did she know that I would take the bus there? I thought back to when I fell to my death in my past life. I vaguely saw Molly, my neighbor across the hall. Molly and I were in the same grade but different classes. Our families have been neighbors for over a decade, but we never visited each other. Her parents are both teachers at a private middle school. They are super strict with her. Her entire schedule for waking up, eating, doing homework, and sleeping is all planned out. And it's accurate down to the minute. If she goes overtime or fails to finish any task, she gets punished. Our rooms are next to each other. Countless times I heard her parents call her an idiot, saying she's worse than the spicy hot pot seller next door. Before my dad opened his restaurant, he sold spicy hot pot at the community entrance for a while. He opened the shop only after people loved his food. Later, when he made more money, he bought the storefront and upgraded it to a revolving hot pot restaurant. Though being self-employed isn't as respectable as being a teacher. We earn money with our own hands. What right do they have to look down on others? I already had good grades to begin with, to make my parents proud. I studied even harder. I got first place in the whole grade, every exam. I became that perfect neighbor kid all parents in the community talked about. The couple next door started scolding and hitting their kid, even more often while bringing me up as an example. My parents, on the other hand, are open-minded and loving. They treat me gently and care about me a lot. There's a very high chance Molly was jealous of me. The college entrance exam continued the next day. I did even better than I did in my past life. Getting into Tsinghua or Peking University is definitely guaranteed. After the exam, I told my dad I was going out with classmates. I actually went to the digital mall to buy 3 hidden cameras. I've got nothing to feel guilty about. And I'm tall and strong. The two of them combined can't even beat me in a fight. I'm just scared they'll play dirty tricks. So I have to take precautions. I installed one in our old anti-theft door, covered by the 3D Fu character sticker we put up for Lunar New Year. It's super hard to spot. Another one inside the house. The third one on top of the awning outside my bedroom window. Tilt the angle a little and you can see 2/3 of Molly's room clearly. If she leaves her door open, you can even see her living room right after I finished installing them and connected them to the monitoring app on my phone. I was so shocked I almost dropped my phone. I saw that on the wall opposite Molly's bed. There was a half-length portrait of me pasted up, with a huge red cross drawn over it. The stains left on it looked like blood. My face on the portrait was all torn up by darts. I finally confirmed that in my past life she was also one of the main culprits who killed me. She was also the one who sent me that picture in my past life. I looked up that account later, but it had already been canceled. But the picture hasn't been sent yet this time. I registered a new account and looked it up. Turns out it was really Molly's account. It was probably just her alt account. There weren't many posts, but they were horrifying enough. All of them were videos of abusing cats and dogs. Judging from the shooting locations, they were shot in our community and the nearby small park. Just thinking about being neighbors with this pervert for over a decade, I broke out in a cold sweat immediately. I quickly took screenshots and screen recordings of everything I saw, and saved and reposted them with my alt account. In her following list, I found a profile picture that looked familiar. After I logged into my main account, I saw that same account in my follower list too. That account has never posted anything. But I remember this account. Every time I posted something before, he would view it dozens of times for sure. I suspect he is Zheng Yuan. Right now, I'm putting the heart-shaped stone I picked up earlier, and my family's. I took a photo of the heart-shaped stone with the jasmine on my balcony, and posted it on my social media. Then I reposted a sweet romance story about childhood sweethearts. The second day after the college entrance exam ended, my mom had already taken half a month of annual leave in advance. My dad closed his shop for a break. The 3 of us went back to our hometown. Finally, wrapped in the warm hugs of my relatives, I got back that long-lost sense of security. With all the college entrance exam pressure off my shoulders, I completely let loose. I messed around in the rural fields with my younger brothers and the dog, but I still kept an eye on what was going on with Zheng Yue. Sure enough, on the 6th day after she was admitted to the ICU, she finally woke up. Just like in my past life, she ranted online to accuse everyone who appeared at the bus stop that day. 7 aunties, me and the bus driver, claiming we left her to die without helping. Me? Huh? The bus driver? Huh? The 7 aunties. Huh. But she's really pitiful, though, because help came way too late. From when her heart attack hit to when she was found, 20 minutes had passed, and the auntie who found her didn't know first aid. Waiting for the ambulance took another 20 minutes. That's 40 minutes total, which caused irreversible damage to her body. First, malignant arrhythmia, chronic myocardial ischemia. She can't take any stimulation at all. Otherwise, she could suffer from cardiogenic shock or sudden cardiac arrest at any time. Second, brain damage. When she was unconscious, her heart stopped for about 4 to 6 minutes, which caused irreversible damage to her brain cells. Third, she was oxygen deprived for too long and developed severe kidney failure. She'll need dialysis for the rest of her life. She's only 18 years old. This happened when she was taking the college entrance exam, the most important time of her life yet. She suffered a total life disaster. Just because her situation is so terrible, do us random passersby have to pay for her misfortune, just like in my past life. Everyone who was at the bus stop got doxxed hardcore by netizens. I was obviously the last one to arrive, but I was the first one to get doxxed. Just because I'm also a college entrance exam taker, I don't know who posted a photo of me leaving home at 6:30 on the internet. They said I only needed 5 minutes to walk to the bus stop. But I didn't show up there until 7:15. Even if we stretch the logic a little, I walked so slowly. Does that make me responsible? Oh, what a load of crap. Stretch any further and I'd be straight at the exam hall. I took photos the whole way there. I posted the photo of the stone on my feed at 6:50. My dad recognized the uncle who gave me the gardenias as a regular customer at his shop. He got in touch with him and asked for the security footage from his yard. The timestamp on the footage was super clear. Even my conversation with the uncle was perfectly recorded. I was still picking flowers with him at 7 o'clock, even though it was close to the bus stop. There was a corner in between, so I couldn't see the bus stop at all. Plus, I wasn't wearing my glasses. The uncle helped me get security footage from several nearby households, proving I stayed on that small road the whole time, and only got on the bus when the group of aunties showed up. The bus security footage also proves I got on the bus before it reached the stop. I never even stepped foot on the bus stop platform. I never met Zheng Yue at all. If you can still blame me for this, then the soft morning breeze and the sweet-smelling air are also at fault. I have more than enough evidence. Even if someone tries to stir up drama on purpose, it won't work. I actually got a lot of sympathy from people instead. I'm just a high school student after all. I was just minding my own business. I didn't bother anyone, but I had to hide out in the countryside, and our family shop had to close too. Those aunties are way tougher though. Right after they found her, they called 120 immediately, and someone was recording the whole time. This is more than enough to prove that from the moment she was found to when the ambulance took her away, no one touched Zheng Yue at all. This completely eliminated any chance of them being scammed. When they saw the Zheng family making false claims, they immediately hired a lawyer to sue them for fraud and defamation. Sure enough, aunties are built different, especially the auntie with the afro. She's a total boss in Jiangcheng. Picking a fight with them was the worst mistake they could make, unlike me, who was way too naive. For the rest of my life, I'd rather be called a selfish jerk than ever help someone who fell down on the street again. Because I can't afford the consequences, and I don't want to risk it. No matter how much this thing blows up online, my family and I aren't going to respond anymore. We've got the 7 aunties backing us up. It's not like I'm needed anyway. The day I woke up in the first lunar month, I found that on my social media accounts, his account had visited my page over 100 times. So I posted a photo of Jasmine every day. No captions at all. Just used all kinds of pink stickers printed with "Love you and miss you" to decorate the posts. He went totally crazy. He visited my page every 10 minutes or so. He was still scrolling at 3 a.m. I really wish he'd dropped dead from staying up late. Too bad bad guys live long lives. Not only didn't he die, he even did live streams online to get sympathy, saying his family was dirt poor. They even owed money for the ICU bills. She's a college entrance exam taker, so she naturally has hot topic tags in traffic. She cranked the beauty filter to the max, and somehow looked a little pitiful and fragile. Quite a few people actually donated money to her. The college entrance exam results finally came out. My whole family sat around the computer. In my past life, I scored 658 even under huge pressure. This time around, I had no idea what my score was. I just couldn't pull up my score when we checked. My grandpa's eyes went wide. He thought the internet back in the village was bad. My dad refreshed the page a few times. Still nothing showed up. He was so anxious, he was sweating buckets. I held on to my grandpa and whispered in case he fell from being too excited. "Grandpa, the top 50 scorers don't have their scores displayed." My parents realized it right after, too. They started yelling at each other, jumping up and down while screaming. They drew all the uncles and relatives next door over. Everyone saw how excited they were, and put 2 and 2 together, since I'm an exam taker. Ha ha ha! Did Hang Hang get into Tsinghua or Peking University? All the villagers share the same last name. Me getting into Tsinghua or Peking U brings honor to our ancestors. Grandpa's hands were shaking. I patted his back to calm him down, while anxiously calling for my dad. "Dad, look at Grandpa." Grandpa waved his hand, turned around and hugged me, tears streaming down his old face. Ha ha. Good grandson. Grandpa's just happy. He ordered my dad, "What are you standing around for? Go order veggies and meat from town, and notify all relatives we're throwing a big feast." I'll go check the almanac. He's checking the almanac again, to pick an auspicious day for the feast. My cousin uncle is a construction contractor. As soon as he heard my score was too high to show up, he said right away, "Why order stuff? We have a big black pig from last year at my place. I was gonna gift it to someone, slaughter it, we'll use it for the feast. I've got liquor too. It's all on me, Uncle Grandpa. I even got mutai here." The whole village sprung into action, spreading the good news to everyone. That's when my dad's phone started ringing. I saw the number and knew it's the admissions office of Tsinghua and Peking University. I hurried to remind him it's a Beijing number. My dad's hands were shaking. He tapped the screen a few times but couldn't answer the call. Grandpa got so annoyed he snatched the phone away, muttering so useless under his breath. He answered the call. His voice unconsciously went higher and softer. Hello? I'm your grandpa. No. I'm Shenghang's grandpa. Yes, okay, thank you. Okay, great. Thank you so much. My dad pressed his ear close to the phone. Their two faces were squishing the phone so hard the sound almost cut out. I tried to reach for the phone to turn on speakerphone several times, but got pushed away every time. My mom and grandma were hugging each other, crying and laughing at the same time. After they hung up, both grandpa and dad were crying their eyes out. They hugged me from either side. Hang, buddy. It's Tsinghua and Peking University. You got into Tsinghua and Peking University. That's when I found out. I scored 708 points. I'm the top scorer in the whole province. TV stations even started calling us. The local TV station from my hometown came straight to our village. I did an interview. Tons of parents of exam takers sang high praises for me. I went viral online. The previous incident where I was defamed by Zheng Yue became a hot topic again. It even hit the top of the trending list. I got way more sympathy. And on the flip side, Zheng Yue got torn to shreds online. Her real photos and terrible grades were all dug up. Her live stream was flooded with hate comments, saying she's an ugly person who causes unnecessary trouble. The school leaders of my middle and high school in Jiangcheng kept calling my dad nonstop, saying they want to give me a bonus. My dad couldn't sit still anymore. He wanted to go back to Jiangcheng. He needs to run his business and make money. The entrance banquet has to be pushed back a few days for now. My grandparents have no problem with that. They're afraid if we're not around, the admission letter might get stolen. Back in their days, there were tons of cases where people got their college spots taken by imposters. I wanted to stay in the countryside till all first lunar month events ended. The whole family was herded into the car and headed back to Jiangcheng. The car had just pulled up to the community gate when we got swarmed by warm-hearted local residents. We had to get out of the car. My dad runs his own business. He knows everyone in the community, and everyone knows him too. The top scorer is back. Boss Sheng, how do you usually educate your kid? How did he get 708 points on the college entrance exam? Oh, we didn't do anything special. He's always been top 3 in his grade. What does he usually eat? What books does he read? He eats our malatang. Our spicy hot pot uses beef bone broth. Look how tall he is. He grew this tall from drinking beef bone soup. My dad pushed me in front of the crowd. I purposely stood on my tiptoes to show off my height. Look at his delicate, handsome features. What a promising young man. I always knew you had the makings of a top scorer. The aunties were touching me all over, saying they wanted to get some good luck, so their own kids can pass the exam with flying colors next year. It took me forever to get away. I was gonna go home when my dad tossed me a set of keys. You guys go open the shop and clean up first. I'm going to restock. I'll earn enough for your tuition in just a few days. He underestimated how valuable a top scorer's influence is before he even got back from restocking. Mom and I were still mopping floors and wiping tables. Nearby neighbors already almost packed our shop to the brim. Neighbors all volunteered to help out. They even suggested Mom rename Shengji Hot Pot to Top Scorer Hot Pot. Right as they said that, my classmates just arrived. I almost covered my face and ran away. Our whole class did pretty well this time. Everyone scored above the first-tier college cutoff. Lots of us got into key universities too. 10 years of hard study finally pays off when you make the honor roll. It really matches that old poem, riding high on the spring breeze. I see all the flowers of Chang'an in a single day. Everyone was praising me. They're so nice to me now, but in my past life they threw rotten cabbage at me and pelted me with stinky eggs too. With the neighbors' help, our shop's business blew up. We were busy until early morning. We only closed after we sold out all ingredients. Business for the whole street got a big boost too. The flower shop at the corner even sent us a big bouquet. Sunflowers, roses, and carnations. The 3 of us walked home together. Mom and Dad walked ahead holding hands, all lovey-dovey. I followed behind holding the bouquet. I took a selfie with the red roses in the foreground. We 3 just got to our doorstep when the door across the hall suddenly opened, revealing Molly's parents' overly ingratiating smiles. Lao Sheng, you're back so late. Yeah, business was great today. We exchanged a few meaningless pleasantries before we each went into our own homes. I took a super quick shower in a few minutes and couldn't wait to get back to my room. Sure enough, I saw Zheng Yue was visiting my profile. This account is under my real name, Lots of my classmates know about it. A bunch of people liked my post just now, asking if I'm dating someone. I didn't deny any of it. I turned on the windowsill security camera, and when I saw the footage inside, I screamed out loud in shock. Mom heard my scream and burst into the room. "What's wrong, son?" On the screen, Molly was pressing her ear against the wall listening. I stuffed my phone under the pillow, pulled a charger from under my butt. The charger poked my leg. "You're a grown-up, can't you be more careful? Let me check if your butt got hurt." No, I'm fine. It just hurt for a second." "Why are you being shy with your mom?" Right after Mom left, I put my earbuds back on and looked back at the camera footage. Molly was still pressed against the wall, staring at my window. Because of the angle, I couldn't see her face, only her loose black hair and white dress. She looked just like Sadako. But when she realized she couldn't hear anything from my side, she grabbed a dart like a maniac and lunged at the foot of the bed, stabbing my portrait repeatedly like crazy. I had no doubt, if I was standing right in front of her, she'd stab me 100 times. I quickly rummaged through my closet. To get the hand grip strengthener I hid deep inside. I exercised with it while rewatching the footage from the past few days. I found that on the day the college entrance exam ended, Molly's parents got a full set of the college entrance exam papers and made her redo all the questions she had already taken in the exam. She kept working on the papers until 2 a.m. Early the next morning, the couple gave her an extremely cruel beating. Because Molly didn't perform well in the exam, she usually got 600 points in practice tests, but her estimated score after the exam was 50 points lower. She didn't even dare to write random answers, because if her answers didn't match what she wrote in the real exam, she would get beaten even worse. But when the official scores came out, she only got 490 points. She was beaten so badly that she lay on the floor and couldn't get up for a long time. They wouldn't even let her eat anything. All the snacks in her room were taken away too. That night, she stood right next to my window like a resentful ghost and stared at me the whole night. For the next few days, she did the exact same thing every day. No horror movie is half as scary as a woman on the other side of the wall, staring at me through the window with pitch-black eyes all night long. Wait, but all this is nothing compared to my entire family's miserable death in my past life, right? I fought back the uncomfortable feeling and pulled the curtain halfway open. I leaned against the wall and took a selfie through the window. The camera captured not only my side profile, but also Molly in the background. The beauty filter turned the creepy scene into a viral, moody aesthetic shot instantly. This time I added a caption and posted it. "Don't be scared, I'm here." Sure enough, Jung-yue went online right away. Then I deleted this post that was only visible to him. I also set the picture to delete after viewing. Screenshots were disabled. Screen recording was disabled too. No trace of the post was left on the platform at all, but it would leave a deep mark on that psycho's mind. After I deleted the post, I shared a song called Little Star. There are lots of posters of this singer, pasted on Molly's bedroom wall. I had even heard her play this song before. For this new post, Jung-yue kept viewing it from midnight to 4 a.m. He listened to the song over and over again. For the next week, I did the exact same thing every day. Finally, it was the day before Jung-yue was discharged from the hospital. In the junior high school alumni group chat, everyone was organizing a group visit to see him. Some classmates even asked me to go with them. I straight up left the group chat and blocked the few junior high classmates I still had on my contact list. The first thing Jung-yue did when he woke up was falsely accuse me of leaving him to die. The news was such a huge public incident. There's no way they didn't know about it. Why are they acting like such saints to me? I just want him to know exactly how much I loathe him, and the more I loathe him, the sweeter I am to Molly. Every night we stare at each other across the wall, listen to the same song, and look at the same starry sky. The day Jung-yue was discharged from the hospital, my family of 3 packed up all our stuff and went back to our hometown. All we brought were my high school study materials. My mom told me, Molly's mom said Molly didn't do well, so she's going to retake the exam. And she wants to borrow your study materials. I told her I already gave all of them away. That couple used to hold their heads up high and snub your mom and I every time they saw us. You made us really proud this time. But we're not pushovers either. Why the hell should we lend her anything? As soon as the news that I was the top scorer of the college entrance exam got out, all the people in the neighborhood came to our house. They took all my used study materials, pens, notebooks, even the desk mat I used in exchange for gifts. They brought all kinds of gifts like tea, cigarettes, and alcohol, and were super polite to us. We didn't accept any of the gifts, of course, but we really appreciated their kind gesture. Why does that family have the thick skin to even ask for it? My dad was so proud he was practically floating. He hid all my key review materials and brought them back to the hometown for my younger cousins to use, hoping we would have more talented students in the family, and sure enough, my grandparents, aunts, and uncles treated us like royalty. They all praised me as the reincarnation of the god of literature. The day we held my college admission banquet in my hometown was the same day as my high school classmates' party in the city. I spent the whole day receiving relatives. I could only go online when I had a little free time. I saw from some high school classmates' social media feeds that they really had a party that night, and Molly and Zheng Yue were both at the same party. Before the banquet started, my grandpa took me to our ancestors' graves to burn joss paper, to tell our ancestors that our family had a top scorer now. Amid the curling wisps of smoke, I kowtowed to the ancestors and made a wish that Zheng Yue's psycho tendencies would act up that night and take Molly away with him. I never thought my ancestors would actually answer my wish. It was late at night. I was almost asleep when a phone call woke me up. It was my classmate calling. Shenghang, Songwat is dead. Check the group chat right now. I opened the high school group chat and saw a lot of real-time photos and videos posted there. I quickly pieced together what had happened. It happened on the street not far from my house. Some of the classmates who just finished the party were chatting. Others were waiting for their rides. Molly was walking with Zheng Yue. No one knew what they were talking about. They suddenly started arguing fiercely. Everyone only got a few bits of information. That on the day of the college entrance exam, Zheng Yue was waiting for the bus. She was on a call with Molly at that time. She had an episode after getting triggered all of a sudden. The two fought like they hated each other's guts. Right at that moment, a dump truck carrying sand and gravel drove past really fast. Zheng Yue suddenly shoved Molly hard toward the road. Molly was no pushover either. She grabbed Zheng Yue tight and wouldn't let go. Both of them got run over by the wheels at the same time. Zheng Yue's neck was crushed on the spot and she died instantly. Molly had both of her legs crushed off. She was also dragged for a certain distance. Her body was badly scraped and bruised. Flesh, skin, and blood were scattered all over the ground. It was exactly like what happened to my parents in my past life. Among the classmates at the scene, some were so scared they cried. Others were so terrified they threw up. It was a passerby who called the police. When the cops showed up, they were each taken away by their parents. I laughed out loud under the covers. I laughed so hard I cried. Molly was in rescue for 2 days before she woke up. I heard they had to amputate everything below her hips. Most of the skin on her body was scraped off. They could only use fish skin for skin grafts. The dump truck was found later, but it was a beat-up vehicle that was about to be scrapped. And the driver was driving normally with no violations. Long story short, they couldn't get much compensation. After we finished the college admission celebration feast, we stayed for 2 more days before heading back to Zhengcheng. We just arrived at the entrance of our apartment complex. We saw a group of people pulling a flatbed cart, walking toward the complex aggressively. I recognized the man leading them was Zheng Yue's dad. I quickly urged my dad to go to the shop first. We parked the car properly, put all our stuff in the shop, then went back to the complex to watch the drama. That's when we found out the Zheng family was actually carrying Zheng Yue's corpse on the cart. It was such a hot day. They only put a few blocks of ice with the corpse. It already started to give off a bad smell. Everyone stayed as far away as they could. They only watched from a distance. They were all whispering and discussing the matter, saying the Zheng family was being totally unreasonable. It was obviously Zheng Yue who pushed Molly first. But would the Zheng family ever listen to reason? They took the moral high ground with the saying, the deceased comes first. It's just like in my past life, I even saved Zheng Yue. They still pulled the same crap back then. Molly's parents locked themselves inside and wouldn't come out. They snuck away and moved out that same night. The Zheng family didn't stop causing trouble. After causing trouble in the complex, they went to the school where Molly's parents worked to make a scene and hang banners. They wailed and mourned publicly and refused to bury Zheng Yue. They cried and ranted online every single day. Even the cops couldn't do anything about them. Molly's whole family got doxxed. People exposed that when Mr. and Mrs. Mo worked at the school. They ignored students being bullied, took bribes from parents. Their harsh education style caused students to get depressed, and other misdeeds. Their reputation was completely ruined. I took advantage of the chaos. I guided netizens to dig out Molly's alt account, where she abused cats and dogs. That immediately caused public outrage across the country. Her social media pages were full of curses and insults. Extreme animal lovers sent wreaths to the hospital ward where she was staying, edited her photos into memorial portraits online, called their whole family demons, said they deserved to die 1,000 deaths. Everything that happened to my family in my past life all happened to their family this time. But that wasn't enough. This whole thing wasn't over yet. I stayed alert every single day. I didn't dare to be the slightest bit careless. I always carried a grip strengthener with me to exercise. I could use it as a weapon if something really happened. Judging from Molly's parents' education method, they weren't normal people either. Now their daughter is disabled for life. They lost their jobs. Their reputation is totally destroyed. They have no money left either. They're completely desperate with nowhere to go. One of them is a biology teacher. The other is a chemistry teacher. Who knows what crazy stuff they might do? What if they turn into psychopaths like Aunt Guo and Uncle Guo? I was on high alert every single day. I took every possible precaution. I stuck to my parents all day like a little kid. I never let them go anywhere alone. At first, my parents thought I was just messing around. After they heard my analysis, they started being careful and cautious too. Until a week later, the authorities announced a major mass poisoning case. The company that owned the dump truck acted out of humanitarian grounds and paid Zheng Yue's family 500,000 RMB as compensation. Zheng Yue's corpse really couldn't be stored any longer anyway. That's when the Zheng family went back to their hometown to hold the funeral. Ever since Zheng Yue's parents exposed the bad deeds Molly's parents did, they tasted the benefits of getting internet traffic. They even invited the whole village to come to the funeral feast. They also invited loads of attention-seeking self-media influencers. Among them was the underachiever who ran over and killed my parents along with his own parents. He was a student of Molly's parents. He's one of the main perpetrators of the online abuse against Molly's family. He even claimed he would keep denouncing the 3 members of the Mo family until they admit their guilt. Hundreds of people were live streaming at the same time, chasing clout with no moral bottom line. It was absurd and ridiculous, making the scene extremely lively. It didn't look like a funeral at all. It looked more like a press conference, but as soon as the dishes were served, all of them were poisoned to death. This was all live streamed, by the way. I heard over 1 million people were watching online. They watched the tragedy happen right through their screens. The killers were none other than Molly's parents. Turns out just the day before, Molly couldn't bear the fact that she had become disabled. She slit her wrist and killed herself while her parents were asleep. They put poison in the food. They didn't run away after killing people. They set fire to the scene and died with everyone else in the fire. After seeing this result, I finally felt relieved, carrying my parents' earnest advice and my family's expectations and blessings. I walked towards a bright future.